All right. We are pretty much done with the news here for today. Again, the lull period still persists. However, we have a fun final segment that's also going to go up on our YouTube channel here. A few days ago, Bleacher Report posted this this Twitter post with a couple pictures saying like what are the best sports pictures of all time, or what are the coldest sports pictures of all time, whatever the wording was of it. And it had a handful of images, some that were no doubt up there, some that made people scratch their heads a little bit. So we here on Gym Class All Stars wanted to have our own best sports picture of all time, kitchen debate, discussion, whatever you want to call it. So without further ado, Baker, I'll let you take it away and maybe give us your first example. We got our live board up here, screen sharing, beautiful stuff. Technology's great. Take it away.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to talk about these 10 first and rank them, and then we'll talk about some other iconic ones?
Yeah, so let's go through what they put up. They claim are the best sports pictures of all time, and then we'll see if we need to add anything else.
All right, Robbie. So this will be our tier list. We got it up.
Beautiful.
And what's going to happen is, I'll show you the photo. S is like the best. D is the worst in this case. All these photos are passing. We'll rank them on that scale. But either way, in terms of overall photography, I'm not going to grade it on that. I'm going to grade it based off of importance, just overall importance to the sports world. How iconic is it? And give my thoughts on it as well. So first one right here, Steph Curry, no look 3, pointing to the crowd. This happened last year. I give this one C tier.
Yeah, I completely agree. And my point is made in one simple sentence. You cannot have a greatest picture of all time in the sports world with Tyler Cook in the picture. No, sir.
It's beautiful. It's a cool photo of Steph Curry, but he has a ton of other photos. This isn't a record-breaking one. It was when he started to get red hot, and it's cool to see in that regard. But I don't know. To me, it's okay, you see Andrew Wiggins, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, everyone's cheering, whatnot. But I think, honestly, even a night photo could have been better. But so I'm going to put it in C. Any strong opinion to place it higher or lower?
No, I think that's where it was going to be. If anything, I might even say lower. At the end of the day, it's just a picture of Steph Curry shooting a 3.
We got some more, though. Don't worry. Next, Michael Jordan flu game. Jordan being held by Scottie Pippen.
See, that's iconic to me. I look at that. I really know the moment. I know exactly what's happening there, and maybe it's because I'm a little more tuned to basketball, sure, than most other sports. But to me, that's a teammate holding his guy up, who's playing through everything. That's A tier right there.
My only dissenting opinion, though, is that to me isn't the most iconic photo of Jordan. The one for me is his shot over Byron Russell. And that one sticks in my brain. I won't bring it up other than this point, but it's important from a teammate perspective, and it's an important thing that we kind of talk about. I also think too, with the whole it coming out that it wasn't the flu, it was most likely something with eating bad pizza or some sort of just stomach bug, that it loses a little bit of that because it wasn't the flu, but nonetheless, still iconic. And that's a good point, where it is very much teammate heavy, which, picking up your teammate when they're down or dying. So I was feeling B. You convinced me for some A tier, so I'll put it in there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And
I was almost going to say save the next one because that's, but let's full send it. I'll get my argument out of the way early.
It needs to be here. Very, very iconic photo. The Dwayne Wade alley-oop to LeBron James. I even as an unbiased Heat fan, I'd put this in S tier. It is iconic. If it was the other one where it's Wade looking back one last time in the All-Star game, I think that one may be like an A or a B, but I think this is a clear S tier. It has to be.
This is the definition of S tier. This is teammates. This is best friends. This is at a point in time, they were rated the best and third best players in the NBA while on the same team together. The hype that was around that team, and then to actually get that picture perfect moment out of those two players, all time moment. In my opinion, that is the second greatest sports picture of all time. I don't even know if the greatest one's even in this list that Bleacher Report put out, but S tier, no question.
Definitely agree with that. All right. Next one. The catch. Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if it was Thursday or Monday night. It's escaping me, but one-handed catch, fighting off pass interference, scoring a touchdown, even without the penalty, like one of the greatest catches I've ever seen, let alone with the pass interference occurring. Great photo, incredible moment, but I'm going to give this A tier. Reason being, there's no importance other than that. It's a cool catch.
It was some regular season meaningless game, right?
From my understanding, yeah. And it's a great catch. And I think will be always regarded as like one of, if not the greatest catch ever. But I don't know. It just, the impact isn't there for me. That's my thought on it.
No, I'm with you exactly. I think in terms of pictured moments, it's one of the best, but impact on the game, on the league, minimal. So yeah, I think A tier is where I would list this one as well.
All right. Next, we got one of the greatest soccer players of all time, Lionel Messi, holding up his jersey to the crowd. I'd have to presume after scoring a goal. We're biased because we don't watch soccer a lot. If I am not mistaken, this is not from the World Cup. That is his. I'm gonna mess this up, aren't I? That's his Real jersey. I got that right. Yes. And he's just holding up to the crowd, and I think it's a cool photo, and like I don't know what the moment is, I don't know what it's from, and that's maybe my own ignorance, but I have to give it at least a C tier.
I got a range. I could be anywhere from B to D. I wish I actually saw the crowd a little bit. Like you can see that these people are looking at him. But why, obviously I don't know why he's doing this exactly in this moment, of course. But like why, and the picture itself isn't very impactful because I don't see the crowd. The whole point of the picture is that he's showing the jersey to the crowd, but I don't see the people that he's directly showing. And that bothers me a little bit. I don't know, that's maybe I'm just being a little nitpicky of the photography and whatnot, but I'm gonna, if you want to say C, I'll go C. C feels appropriate here.
I mean, just look at those calves though. Like you have to get at least C.
Oh, I mean the man's fit as could be. I would not want to get into a disgruntled battle with that man.
All right, next. This is from the 2021 WNBA Finals. It's Kayleigh Cooper standing over Sophie Cunningham as Cooper had crossed up Cunningham, was just standing over top of her. This one definitely is where, like, for obvious reasons, the world went into a frenzy because it's like, how could you include this? In terms of sports impact, I tend to agree where it doesn't have a whole lot of cultural significance currently. I think the photograph is like really cool though, just what they captured and the people behind. You can see a bunch of Suns players in the back too, just like which I think is awesome. You have I don't know, it's Kaminsky, there's Saric, and then there's a Cam Johnson in the background.
Kaminsky's a hawk, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is 2021.
Oh, it's 2021. That's right. I think that proves to the impact of the picture. I don't obviously didn't even know this from the WNBA finals, or it could have been a regular season game. I really didn't know. I agree to your point. It is a very cool picture. It is a very well taken, well timed picture. The photography on this one much better than the last one we just discussed. And I appreciate the NBA trying to bring the WNBA, using their platform, bringing the WNBA into a more brighter light. But this is D tier to me. This is also like, I wouldn't like this if this was Draymond Green standing over LeBron. This picture doesn't help the sports world at all. This helps the fans that like this stuff, which is fine. There's a lot of those fans. That's cool. Sometimes I'm one of those fans. But this isn't an impactful picture. You want to show me an impactful picture? Show me the game-winning shot. Show me a huge play from that game. Don't show me players not getting along. I don't want to see that. I don't want that being highlighted as one of the best sports pictures of all time, because in that case, the only S tier picture is Lance Stevenson blowing in LeBron's face. That's the S tier then.
That's a top tier photo though. But I agree in terms of impact. I put it down in D.
I sadly have to agree. I want it to be made very clear, though, it has nothing to do with the disrespect towards women's basketball. Just the impact on the sports world as a whole isn't quite there yet.
All right, this is Megan Rapinoe, World Cup scoring against France. Big photo. Epic pose after scoring. To me, I in terms of the impact, it goes a few different ways. Like women's soccer as a whole, like definitely has done a lot for the U.S. considering the men's national team really hasn't done much at the current moments. The photo itself, like the women's team is so good that there's probably like so many moments. So I don't know what specific goal this was. I'm sure it was them just beating up on like a France or beating up like some other team in the World Cup. To me, that's what qualifies it maybe B tier. I think it's a great photo. I think it's very well done. And it shows the dominance of it. But in terms of pinpointing, where it's not like the game-winning goal, it's not like some big moment because they were just so good and scored so much. You know, that's where I'd put it at B. Cool photo, and definitely women's national team as a whole had so much of an impact that like this encapsulates it. But that's where my thoughts are.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. This team, extremely impactful, extremely influential. That individual moment, I couldn't tell you when it happened. I don't actually remember it. So I appreciate the quality of the picture and what the picture is of. That's why, yeah, B tier is where it is. But that individual picture itself has not yet cemented itself in sports history to move into that A tier.
This one. I think this is a clear-cut D tier photo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know Sixers fans are probably pretty pissed this was even included in the first place. And the only reason it's here is for this fact. If you don't know, this is the only Game 7 buzzer beater that has ever occurred in NBA playoff history. That's why it's here. This was a round 2 game. Who the hell cares? Oh my God, this shot didn't have an impact. I'm sorry. Those people who are like the Sixers would have gone on and won the title are, I don't want to call them idiots. They're just they have no logic to their backing. They could have still lost the next series. They could have still lost in overtime.
Yeah.
Like this picture did nothing. All it did was take Jimmy out of Philly. That's all it did, which has not led to anything because the Heat haven't won a title with Jimmy yet. This could even be lower than D tier in my mind. This being here reminds me why I hate Bleacher Report so much.
I'm biased as well. I was gonna say, yeah.
I know you're unbiased, but I just wanted. There's probably a lot of Sixers fans that are biasly mad at this one.
Yeah, and I don't know. To me, it's like why like it's a cool. I honestly think like the video of it is more impactful, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's cool. Everyone was on the edge of their seat staring at it, and like it's cool to capture that. But I don't know. It's so be it. Like I think honestly, like even like Embiid crying afterwards may be more impactful because you saw like just the trials and tribulations and sort of the weight of the moment on sports. So my biased opinion there, but we're gonna put it in D tier and just let us know if we're wrong because I got no problem admitting I'm wrong.
I do, but I'll still do it.
Something growth, right?
Something dark side.
Iconic Jose Bautista, ALCS. I think it was the Orioles. No, it was the Rangers. Definitely the Rangers because of the whole thing that happened later. Bat flipped after hitting a big 3-run home run. Roger Center went nuts. I think this photo is incredible for just a number of reasons, like just the overall look. I'd put this at A tier.
Okay, I was gonna put it one step down. I was gonna say B tier. This is first of all, awesome picture. I hate bat flips. I think they're the stupidest, most overhyped nonsense that exists in the sports world. But this is an awesome moment. This is a fantastically captured image. And the impact of the moment was major. But it's the Toronto Blue Jays against, like you said, the Texas Rangers. If Jose Bautista was a New York Yankee in this picture, we're talking about a completely different deal. But unfortunately, he's wearing a Blue Jays jersey, and that, for whatever reason, does change it a little bit because it's just out of context, you don't know what he did here. The Wade and LeBron picture, you can see what's happening in the picture. That's why it's so great. And this one, it's just a cool bat flip if you don't know when the picture is from. That's why I knocked the WNBA picture, and that's why I'm going to knock this down. I'm going to say B tier for this.
All right. We'll put it.
I don't know. You could still throw a convincing argument for A tier. I'm not the biggest baseball guy, so.
The video does more justice because it's like the camera like starts shaking, and it is incredible to see. But that's just my thought on it. It's like a really cool video, but I could see a world where the photo doesn't do a whole lot. So, and then last but not least, one of my favorite photos, the Miracle on Ice. Big deal. I think this is one of the coolest sports photos ever. I mean, if you know the meaning behind it, it does wonders, but I love this photo. The whole story about this ragtag group of people who beat the between Cold War happening, between Russians using effectively their pros and us being like a bunch of college people and amateurs. I don't know. To me, it's awesome photo, and more so the story with everything behind it, but it's just like the pure emotion of it. Like there's like legitimate shock and like just appreciation for it, and I love it. Oh,
first of all, if you've never heard of it or even never seen the movie, like look into this. This is one of the greatest sports stories ever told. This is the true underdog story. This is like you said, a ragtag team of thrown together college kids beating what was referred to as the greatest hockey team of all time. Straight up, that's what they were referred to as. And the USA beat them in one of the most important and impactful moments in the country's history. Just an absolutely phenomenal story. This individual image, also beautiful. Look at that. You see everything. You see the players. You see the fans. You don't get to see the coach, unfortunately, but you can just look at that picture. And even again, if you don't know exactly what happened, you know what happened. This team just did something that they all were bought in for and believed in, and that's why I'm between A and S here because I want to make an argument for a picture that didn't make Bleacher Report's list to be the other S tier team. If you think this is an S tier photo, I'm not going to argue against it. To me, it's A tier.
I think it's just S tiered from a cultural standpoint and just the impact.
Yeah.
But like you alluded to, there are a few others that fall in there. You had mentioned, was it Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston?
Yeah. To me, the greatest sports photo of all time is Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston. That just encaptures it all. Yeah. Alex will slowly bring it up for us, but if you know the picture that I'm talking about, it's so powerful. It speaks so much with so little. It's just this grown man lying on the ground, and then this giant beast of a man standing over top of him with a grimace on his face, knowing that he is the greatest in the world, with the spectators in the background. I mean, my goodness, this was, yes, an exceedingly impactful moment in the sports world, but it was also just this image. It says it all. It shows you the entire story, and that's what it really came down to when you talk about the greatest sports photo of all time for me. It's, can the picture itself tell you the whole story? It's exactly what this does. You could get more than 1,000 words out of this picture right here. I'll say that right now. That to me is the greatest sports story of all time.
We talked about Jordan making the shot over Byron Russell. That's a big one. This is another one, but I think there is a bit of the story behind it is cool, and just the 1968 Olympics, the Black Power salute, as protests for the civil rights going on. You know, just having that and just encapsulating that as they're at the podium is a big deal. This is one of my favorite photos, and the story behind it, just, I think this one tells a lot, where it's got Derek Redmond. He was running, I think it was the 400, and he's about halfway through it, and he just hamstring or something just pops, and he is like, down on the ground. He is done, and he is like limping to try and just finish the race. And this doesn't get talked about enough, where Olympians train, their entire life for, ultimately for some events, what ends up being like a minute long event, like this 400, for example, and even less because they're faster than you or I. But you're training all that way, and then just having it, just your body giving out on you is one thing. Like, losing is another, but it's just, you trained so hard, and then that's the impact. So he's, trying to hobble through, and his dad runs down, and security guards tell him to get off, and he's like, no, this is my son, and just walking him to the finish line. Like, it's such a powerful photo, and just the story, like, he's crying because it's like, it's so impactful and it's just so important. That always gets me, because it's like, there's nothing you can do except finish it out, and I don't know, it stands the test of time, just that emotion, that agony, and just everything going around. And
no, I'm glad you showed that one. That's a beautiful picture. If you don't know about that moment, definitely look it up, because that's one of those that it makes you remember why you love sports so much, moments and images. I'm glad you brought that one up. I got a couple I want to list quick. We don't have to necessarily show them off. There's a picture of the 1983 NCAA championship, and men's championship, when NC State had this, their Cinderella story upset over Houston. There's a picture of Jim Valvano running around the court, and he's not holding anybody. He's just running around. And the story behind that is he was so excited. He didn't know what to do. He was just running around the stadium. This right here, exactly. He was just running around the stadium looking for somebody to hug. He didn't know who he was looking for. He didn't know who he was going to grab. But the second they won, he just sprinted onto the court and just ran around like a madman trying to find somebody to hug. He was so happy. And I think eventually he found the guy who hit the shot. He found Wittenberg, the guy who missed the three at the end. And they share this beautiful moment. It's just such a great story, such a beautiful sports moment that I love that whole story. And Jim Valvano is one of my all-time favorite sports figures. One that I know you're gonna remember. I know you're going to remember when in 2008, when the Phillies won the World Series, the second Brad Lidge struck out the final batter, and he drops to his knees and he puts his hands in the air. That image of him with his hand right there. Oh yeah, he nothing else mattered in that moment. He had no higher purpose in life than to celebrate what his team had done. And then you see, if you watched on TV, you saw the whole team just pile on top from every angle. It was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, met by Carlos Ruiz at first. Howard jumps in, Utley jumps in, the outfield comes in. Oh my God. Such a beautiful moment for a team that hadn't won a World Series in so long, for a kid growing up to see his team win and then see it end like that with just the team literally coming together as one. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. And then because I'm me, I have to throw in one sarcastic one. This is the true S tier. If there's a secret category above S, this is where this picture, the banana boat.
Oh.
Wade, James, Gabrielle Union, and Chris Paul sitting on a banana boat, and everybody's pretending like Gabrielle Union is Dwayne Wade, is Carmelo Anthony. Classic.
Okay, going along with that, then I think the New York Giants boat picture has to be included, just from the overall impact that occurs after it, where they do not win another playoff game, and have not since this photo was taken.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's like a fraternity does with their executive board. They take a shirtless picture to pretend like they're cool.
All right, I have two others then, and then that'll be it for ours. There's plenty of others, and let us know what everyone else thinks. But this is one, the Immaculate Reception, where
glad you brought it up.
More of the moment, but just everyone excited, and Franco Harris winning Jack Tatum. 4th and 10, deflection ball that just lands in Franco Harris's hands, and he runs it in for a touchdown to win the AFC divisional game. Big win, just incredible play. And it's tough because the video doesn't do it justice. I mean, this is like a still from it. But, that moment is immortalized, one of the best football moments of all time, if not the, and it was ranked when they went over them. I think it was last year during COVID. But
that moment is literally credited as the single most important in Pittsburgh Steelers franchise history.
Yeah.
That moment, not Santonio Holmes's catch, not James Harrison's 100-yard pick six in the Super. That Immaculate Reception is the number one moment in Steelers franchise history. Mind you, the other than Tom Brady, the best franchise of all time.
And then last but not least, my favorite photo, Vontaze Burfict laying out Antonio Brown.
The moment it all went downhill for AB.
This is the moment that encapsulates multiple different timelines, and it started the Bengals spiral into not winning a playoff game until Joe Burrow came in. It made Vontaze Burfict one of the dirtiest players in the league, even though he already was. And then Antonio Brown, probably because of this, went off the deep end, unfortunately.
But I say, the term of losing your marbles, and Antonio Brown's marbles were popped right out with his head.
I mean, there's also, where is this still?
The best one, that one's great. And then the best is like week 1 next year when Juju lays out Vontaze Burfict right back, because my favorite thing that I ever saw it was like a gif of the moment, and Juju lays out Burfict, and then Burfict dies like you do in Fortnite, and all his loot dropped out from underneath it. It was really funny.
That's a cool photo though too.
Yeah, Juju standing over it. Juju, I'm pretty sure, got kicked out of the game right after that.
Yeah, he got suspended too.
That was the I got my teammates back moment. And I, as a Steelers fan, knew how gross it was what he just did, and had lost zero respect for him. In fact, I had gained respect for him. Now he's on the Chiefs, and that respect's back gone. Regular Juju.
Well, those are our thoughts. I'm sure there are plenty others, but let us know what we missed. I'd love to take a look at some photos. Like they always say, a picture tells, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And some of these images, especially the newer ones, are so crisp and so clear that they're beautiful. Like this one right here, the resolution on it is just French kiss, incredible. Some of the older ones have that like nostalgic feel to them, and they're cool in that regard. But
I was gonna say that's kind of their charm sometimes. Like
yeah.
Isn't part of the reason why the old Star Wars movies are so good is because they're a little goofy in what they look like?
To a degree. I mean, not to get off topic, but some of the practical special effects that they did, like they hold up too, and it's 40 plus years ago.
Pictures hold up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So,
but no, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, let us know what other pictures maybe should have that we let slip through the cracks that should have been on that list. But other than that, we're very happy to be back. Hopefully we won't have this long of a break in between this and our next episode, but bear with us as we kind of get our schedules readjusted. We have a 3-hour time difference to work through here, so we're gonna keep putting out content for you guys. Just gonna take us a second to get our feet back under us, but we're here, we're happy, and we're moving forward. Hopefully some more NBA and NFL news next week. But for now, we hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.